anyway, today's session turned out to be a really exciting session again. After yesterday's excitement with the rooster, didn't turn out quite with a happy ending today though. But nice early start. I was up at 4 and Shumbo came only a little bit late, about 25 minutes, which wasn't too bad. I was cursing him at the time, but it was all forgotten once he turned up. Anyway, so yeah, we went out pretty early and we got to the same place where I fished previously for the Roosterfish, which is a really good spot, and I wanted to give it a little bit of time, but I could see the swell had really dropped off during the night, and I do like to fish some of these spots with a little bit of swell if I can. I've found that in the morning it doesn't matter as much, but as the day goes on it helps to have a little bit of swell to bring the fish around and bit of activity, you know. So I had a pretty quiet feel about it, so I said to Shumbo, just give it an hour, and maximum like half hour and we'll move on to another island. Okay, so it's first thing in the morning. Well, not first thing, yeah, sun's on its way up. I wanted to get out here a bit early, but it's not easy getting the captain here on time. It's just that the first half an hour especially is just, doesn't mean you're going to catch, but it's definitely the best time, no doubt about it. Oh, it's a load of needlefish just ran then. So I'm starting with the heavier setup. There's more chance in the morning of snapper. So I'm going to start here and I'm just going to work my way along. The waves are getting smaller every day, so I'm probably just going to stay at this spot perhaps half an hour. Okay, it wasn't many casts, but I'm going to try further along here where there's a little bit more wave action, but I don't think I'm going to stay here too long today. I'm going to try to get a little bit more around the front if it's possible. Okay, so I had something out of hit. I'm guessing it was a jack, and then it came back, and then I was reading the lure, so I'm going to try straight in the same area again. Because it's not the kind of fishing where it's just fish after fish. It certainly isn't. You've got to work hard for every fish, and that's just the way it is. Especially if you're fishing with bigger lures, you're gonna, be targeting, getting out of distance, targeting bigger fish with a bit heavier tackle. I guess if you really wanted to catch a lot, if I was using just the little shads, I'm sure I'd get into more fish, but come on. That's it. I want to get around those rocks. Wonder if it's the same fish come back that hit earlier. Oh, it's going around with those rocks, so try and bring it up high. I still hope he stays on. Just turn him here. Eyes off. I don't believe it. Just as I turned him. Okay, so another one came off right at the end. I was thinking of landing him or just lifting him out, and as I turned him, the hook came out because he was swimming into the rocks. So I turned him around and I had a feeling if any time he's going to come off, it would be then. Anyway, I'd rather lose that one than a really big one. So let's get back at it. Okay, swells have gone down. There's still swell, but it's gone down, so it's a bit quiet where I was. So we're trying another island change. So looks like a lot more swell around these, obviously, because we're going to be facing the swell more. That seems to be where the action generally is. We looked at a few spots and found another spot that I could easily get into the back of the island from, and so it looked ideal. And when I got round to the front and started to fish, I could just see it was snapper paradise. There's so many rocks scattered around, and you know, waves breaking onto the rocks in front. It just looked like perfect snapper terrain, and I was getting loads of hits from needlefish all over the place. I knew it was needlefish for sure, so you get a lot of hits from them when you're not hooking up. You know, it's generally a needlefish and it's not a really big hard hit. Right, I'm gonna get off here now. Right. Yes. Okay. There's a new island. It's always exciting. The swells are not too big, so it's a good thing, especially when you don't know this place. Don't know what to expect. Haven't been round the front. Wow. It's good. Yeah, I just told him it looks really good. Yeah, that looks amazing in there. Can't wait to chuck a lure in there. Just got to look now where you'd actually bring a fish in. Not going to be easy, but I think around here. Okay, this spot looks absolutely fantastic. It's crazy, but there's no guarantees. You know, sometimes you come to these spots and there's nothing. But it's a kind of spot, so I love to fish. It just reminds me of a spot I fished back home. So I'm starting off with the shad. This is the big 120 on the Maximal. There seems to be so many places to cast to here. Okay, so now I've got this high-vis shad on. And what I'm doing is I'm casting it out, right out to the backwash on the other rocks. I can reach those rocks. I'm starting off with a slow retrieve through the white water or the backwash for any snapper or anything really, and then when I get to the open water, just increasing that speed. Yeah, just increasing the speed a bit in case anything's following or a rooster. And then again, when I'm getting close with the backwash, I'm just slowing it around these edges. Give a snapper a chance to see it. Because snappers can be right in close to these edges. Some love. It's like a nice Kabira there, nice little Kabira snapper there on the shad. I'm going to actually have this one for dinner because I haven't had any fish while I'm here, so it's a good size one for eating. So yeah, really pleased with that. See those teeth there. Is it a needlefish? I think I foul hooked a needlefish by the looks. It didn't feel like a needlefish. It is. Might just shake it off. Yeah. Been hitting lots of needlefish the whole time, which is quite annoying, but this one I hit got him on the towel, foul hooked, and I wondered what the heck it was, the way it was sort of just, you know, swimming around really quick, and I realised very soon that yeah, must have foul hooked it, because they're always going for the splashing lures. They're a bit of a pain, but anyway. Anyway, I persevered as the tide was pushing up. I kept at it. It looked so fishy, to be honest. Yeah, it just looks so good there. I mean, that place has got huge potential, and I managed to hook onto a Kabira snapper. Not a really big one, but a good size for dinner. The next part of the session, it went a little bit quiet, but it was still looking good as the tide was coming up. I was swapping basically between the enticer minnow and the shad, which both, I got a lot of confidence in both those lures. The enticer minnow makes a good splash and I can swim it a little bit, and I know that I can get a rooster on that, or I can hit jacks or snappers or whatever. The shad, well, I got the rooster yesterday on that. I also put on the fat minnow for a while, and that's what I got a hit on, a decent hit. Yeah, I think all the other hits came from needlefish, but there was one good hit on the fat minnow. And then as the tide was pushing up, it's getting a little bit dodgy on the end. It wasn't too dangerous, but you're getting hit pretty heavy by some of the waves, that's for sure. Some lovely backwash there. Lucky the swell's not big today, because there's some waves coming a bit over here and don't really want it any bigger. I'd say it's around a perfect size really for fishing off these rocks here. I've got another hour and a half. If the tide keeps coming in, I won't have an hour and a half here. But yeah, I persevered at it, and kept casting, kept swapping between the two lures, and then while I had the shad on, I had another really good hit, and I thought, for the first second I thought, oh, not another needlefish, and then I realised pretty much immediately after that it wasn't. Okay. It's getting pretty difficult now with the tide high. I hope it don't come any higher. Something good hit it this time. Shit! Well, that has gone down so deep. It's bit me off. Shit. Yeah, so then I was swapping between the enticer minnow and the shad. The 90 gram enticer minnow makes a good splash and is ideal for bringing up fish, chasing rooster. And the shad, which I had the actual rooster with the day before, the 70 gram, and that's fast becoming my favourite lure at the moment. And so I was basically swapping between the two, and then all of a sudden I got a hit on the 70 gram shad. As it took off towards the bottom, I realised it was something big. At first I thought, oh, it's just a decent jack, but then it basically came at me at speed and then just went right down to the reef. And obviously I'm stood back a bit and I've got rocks in front of me, so within seconds I was reefed, unfortunately. Yeah, it's a shame that I had my smaller setup on. I had the 6000 Saragossa with the Longcast extra heavy. Rod would have been alright, but I'd have been happier with the 8000 Saragossa on and the Maximal. But I was sort of kind of giving my arm a little bit of a rest after quite a lot of hours casting in the morning. But anyway, you beat yourself up after what you could have done, but it all happened so fast at the time. And yeah, I just basically went down to the reef at top speed, and I did try to hold the spool and stop it. I mean, I've had some over 30-pound snappers out here in the past, but this was in another league, so I'm pretty certain it was a really big Kibera snapper, because they're pretty powerful and they just head straight down to the reef. But yeah, great to know I was in the right place. So it did look like snapper land when I arrived, and there's certainly the chance of roosterfish there and good jacks. Yeah, so weather permitting, I'll be back tomorrow, if the waves are not too big there, because I know the swell's pushing up a bit. Otherwise I'll go somewhere thereabouts. Okay, so I finally made it out. It's about over an hour to get out here today. It's really choppy. I got caught in a rainstorm on the way out. I hope it stays a bit overcast. It hammered it in the night. I had the water coming under the doors, but definitely better than boiling hot sun. As usual, I'm going to be switching between the enticer and the shad. On this enticer, I've set it up with a couple of singles on a swivel, so it may be harder to get a hook up sometimes, but definitely when you hook up, it's definitely going to stand a lot better. So I'm going to start off with this enticer for the first 10 minutes, and then I'm going to put on the shad. It's a good time of the day, it looks fantastic conditions. I mean, this would be good bass fishing spot. I'm on. That's great. Okay, I'm onto a fish. Just cast over to this side. Now I've got all these rocks in front. I don't know what to do. I'm not a good height here. I've got those rocks in front. I have to go down. Okay, a nice Jack Crevalle there on the enticer minnow. I just cast across the edges. This one's grunting away. Yeah, that's why I think it pays when you've got those singles on. I definitely feel more secure that it's going to stay on. And we're going to get this one back out, back in and fish again. Just had a few casts with the black. I had the hit from needlefish, but it's not saying much. I would cast more with it, it's only 50 grams today. I definitely need more. I'm actually going to put on this 120 to see how that goes. Okay, rather than spend any more time hopping to another island, I think I'm just gonna sit it out here, hoping a rooster will pass by. It's not a bad spot at all. There's a bit of swell coming in, some nice backwash, and if I did happen to hook something, it would be a lot easier to land it than some of the spots. Right, sun's out. I'm gonna cover up a bit. Trying to find a good place to get back on. back in. That's it's a new addition to the Samson Longcast range. Is the Maximal XP. So this one is a heavier rod than the original Longcast, Samson Longcast. The original is cast in 30 grams to 120. I've been using it for 15 and even up to 120. But the Maximal takes off then where that leaves off really. So for bigger lures, it's rated at 60 to 200 grams. So when I'm casting